Elliot Goldman arrived home an hour before his wife Hannah. He took a beer out of the refrigerator and sat down to rest. He noticed one of his wife's women's magazines on the coffee table. The main cover story was 10 Ways to Tell If Your Spouse is Cheating. Elliot usually ignored or even laughed at such a title. However, in the last month or so, he had felt a change in the strength, his mating bond. He read the article and immediately reproached himself for trusting such lists, and yet the seed of doubt about his wife's behavior. After 6 years of marriage was sown, a few days later, one of his colleagues came to see him after lunch. "Hey Al, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw your wife having lunch with a guy. She works with several men. I suppose it's not unusual for her to have lunch with one of them from time to time. But do she and the guy usually hold hands, stroke each other, and hug?" He pulled out his phone and showed it to Elliot. After watching the video for a couple of minutes, Elliot remarked, "They really look very cozy, don't they? Did you happen to hear what they were talking about?" "No, I was too far away. I know they smiled, laughed, and looked at each other lovingly." "Did you see where they went then?" "No, by the time I paid the bill, they had already left." "Well, it's probably nothing, but I need to talk to Hannah. Send me a video." That evening, Elliot returned home shortly before Hannah. "Hey, big guy, how was your day?" "Interesting. How about your day? Anything special?" "All the same. How long do you have for lunch break?" "Why do you need to know that? Are you planning to surprise me and invite me to lunch one day?" "It would be great. I just wanted to know how much time you have. It would make a difference which restaurant we could go to. Officially, we only have half an hour, but we can stay longer. If we let the secretary know, have you had such long lunch breaks lately? Do these questions make sense? Okay, spit it out. Why are you actually asking these questions?" Elliot took out his phone and showed Hannah the video. Hannah replied, "So what? It looks like you are really friends with this person." Hannah laughed. "You mean because he's gentle? You were both gentle. This is so cute." "What are you talking about?" Elliot started to get angry. "This is so cute." "Are you jealous? You're jealous of Spencer being gay. We touch each other like I touch all my girlfriends. Believe me, there is nothing romantic in our touches. I guess I should be flattered that you're jealous. It means that you value our marriage if you are upset about a possible competitor." Hannah smiled widely. "Al, remember, appearances can be deceiving." "Well, I can't say he's gay. If you really want to know, talk to everyone I work with. Better yet, check out Spencer's Facebook page. He does not hide his gender preferences." Elliot actually checked Facebook, and the guy's Facebook page said he was gay and in a gay relationship. Elliot felt ashamed that he doubted Hannah. A few days later, Hannah called her husband to say that she would have to work late and that he should go and eat without her. This almost never happened. Hannah's job simply didn't require extra time in the evenings. Elliot remembered the list. Unexpected delays at work was number 4 on the list of signs of cheating. Elliot went to his favorite restaurant and ordered food. His plan was to bring his poor, overworked wife dinner, if that's what she was actually doing. If he's wrong, he'll just join her for dinner. The guard knew Elliot and let him in. Elliot declined. The guard's offer to inform his wife of his arrival. He wanted to surprise her. God, how he wanted to surprise her. Approaching her office, he heard 2 voices, a man's and a woman's. Walking quietly, he stood at her door and listened, hearing his wife say, "Oh, that's really good." Elliot quickly opened the door, excited about the upcoming date. Hannah and the man she worked with stood over the architect's desk, looking at a large sketch of an organizational chart. They were both fully dressed, and nothing seemed out of place. "Elliot, it's a surprise." "What are you doing here?" "I just wanted to bring my loving wife dinner." "This is so cute." "Did you bring dinner for Jimmy too?" Trying to think quickly, Elliot replied, "There are 2 dinners here. So have you already eaten?" "Yes, I have already eaten." "Well, it's time for me to go home. See you at home. Sorry to barge in, Jimmy. I want to see my husband off. I'll be Back in a second, they headed towards the elevator. As soon as the door closed, Hannah became angry. Sorry, but I don't believe in a good husband. You've never done anything like this before. Enter my office without even knocking if this has anything to do with your stupid jealousy again. We may have problems. We'll talk when I get home. Sufficiently scolded, Elliot expected a scandal. It all started before Hannah even took off her coat and hung it up. At first, I thought it was cute that you were jealous of me at lunch with Spencer. And now you're checking on me because I had to work late. Jimmy asked me if you're always so suspicious. Elliot, this is getting more than annoying. If you think I'm making fun of you, I want to hear it now. She stood with her arms crossed over her chest and frowning. Well, the fact is that I love you very much, and I know that other men appreciate your beauty just as much as I do. I always considered myself so lucky to be married. I find it hard to believe that other men don't hit on you. I'm afraid you like it. What nonsense. Well, other men hit on me. Not that often, but sometimes. But that's not the problem. The problem is that you think I can actually respond to advances. Are you really that insecure about our relationship? If so, then I advise you to immediately get this nonsense out of your head. Yes, darling, I'm sorry. Please don't be angry with me. I love you so much. Well, you won't be able to love me in bed tonight. You need to sleep in the guest bedroom tonight. Although I hope you don't stay up all night figuring out what you need to do. Hannah headed to the bar and poured herself a drink. Elliot went to get the guest bedroom ready. It was cool in Goldman's house that night. Elliot was glad that Hannah didn't seem so upset this morning. Elliot, I'm so sorry I left you last night. I'm just disappointed that you seem to think about me and my possible betrayal. Look, I take my marriage vows very seriously. Since we got married, I haven't contacted anyone and don't plan to. You can't seem to understand that appearances can be deceiving. Moreover, I have never doubted your commitment to our marriage. I suppose I can expect the same. I just don't understand why this isn't the case. Having made this statement, she shed tears. Elliot felt miserable. Sorry, honey. You helped me come to my senses. Please, forgive me. I won't doubt you anymore. Hannah walked over and kissed Elliot. Let's leave all this talk about espionage and adultery in the past. Our marriage is too important to us to sabotage it by mistake. Remember, we will soon be adding little ones to our family. We cannot raise children in an atmosphere where one of us does not trust the other. It's enough for today. See you at dinner, and I won't work late. She smiled slyly. Over the next few days, Elliot went out of his way to do things he hoped Hannah would appreciate. Flowers, candy, chocolate, nuts, and caramel bars, and taking her out to dinner. The atmosphere at home has softened considerably. One evening, Elliot was balancing his online account and his online credit card account. Everything seemed fine until he got to the account for his joint credit card with Hannah. We paid for 3 days at a local 2-star motel. He realized that these 3 days were the days of his business trip. Crap, not again. Remembering the last disaster, Elliot didn't want to even think about asking her about it. Until he was sure it was what he was afraid of, he began to think about how he could find out before he made a fool of himself again, or worse, jeopardize his marriage. Elliot went to the hotel and asked the receptionist if he was on duty those 3 days. He then asked whether the hotel had CCTV footage from that period, and so it was. For $250, he saw the recording. Eventually, after fast-forwarding the tape showed Hannah opening the door to the room. With her was a man dressed casually. They entered. This was a couple of hours before Hannah left. Although Hannah never appears to have stayed overnight, she did make several visits of varying lengths over the course of 3 days. The guy came and left several times alone, usually carrying food. Elliot received a copy of the recording. Elliot ran through every possible scenario that might suggest that Hannah's visits to the motel were for a legitimate purpose. He couldn't imagine anything other than what he feared most. Is it time to talk to Hannah again? No, Elliot needed more proof. He talked to his lawyer. By the time he left his office, he had a divorce filing in the works and a private investigator under contract. The detective hid cameras and tape recorders in the house, and Elliot hid one in Hannah's car. For several weeks, daily video searching and recording did not produce any unusual results yet. The digital voice recorder in the car did not record part of Hannah's frank conversation. "Hey, Craig, can we talk? I'm in the car, on my way to work." "Okay, me too. Are you ready to tell us about our little adventure at the hotel?" "Yes, it was one of the most exciting things I've ever done." "So you don't have a problem with what we did?" "Not really. I just wish we weren't so secretive. You know we can't talk about this in the office. You never know who might be listening." "Well, you can always tell your husband about it." "Yes, of course, as if he would understand why I need this." "Do you think we could ever do something like that again?" "I don't know. We need to choose the right time. I don't want to explain what we do. The possible consequences are too dire." "Okay, I will wait. It's worth it." "Okay, but next time you will pay for the room." They both giggled, and the conversation ended. Elliot was seething with anger. "Let's see what this bitch has to say about this." Next to the computer, on the other side, was a digital voice recorder. "Judging by the shitty grin on your face, you have something up your sleeve. You better not fall for adultery again. This time things won't end so well. I admit that you fooled me, Hannah. This time I have proof. This should be good. Show me this so-called proof." Elliot played video of the hotel room where Hannah went in and out, sometimes spending more than an hour there. "And that's all. Before I say anything, what else do you have?" Elliot played the recording of the conversation. In the car, his confidence was waning given Hannah's smug attitude. Hannah smiled when she heard the call recording. "This will cost you dearly, asshole. First, the video. I agree that it shows me going in and out of a hotel room with a man. His name is David. What you don't see is that his sick wife is in the room. Don't you remember that my office helps support the Fairview homeless shelter? David and his wife used their time at the shelter just as they began to get back on their feet. The shelter agreed to pay for 1 week in a motel. They needed more time. Craig and I decided to help them. Although we had no intention of doing so, I paid for 3 more days before they went into an apartment under the supervision of mental health center staff. David's wife is a former military personnel who is physically disabled and suffers from PTSD. I spent some time in the room talking to them about where they were moving and about David's job prospects. I tried to support them and cheer them up. The reason Craig and I were secretive was because we might lose our volunteer positions because we went against agency policy. If the agency made exceptions to its support duration rule, everyone else would expect it to. They don't have the budget for this. If our company found out that we were ousted by an agency for which they are the main contributors, our work could be negatively impacted. I don't think they would fire us, but it could affect our future raises and promotions." The conversation with Craig is now easy to understand, knowing what the secret was. Play the recording again. See if you hear anything in our conversation that specifically mentions sex or cheating on our spouses. You'll hear that you took our conversation about our secret act of kindness and turned it into something sinister. You just had to make some assumptions. You don't deserve any respect after what you did. You say you love me, but you don't trust me. I'm not sure I can stay married to a man who doesn't trust me. Are those divorce papers in front of you? Yes, but I don't have to. Shut up. After your last attack of distrust of me, I thought about what to do if you don't trust me again. I've come to the conclusion that just leaving you won't be enough. It won't hurt you because you obviously don't care much about me if you can believe that I want another man. I realized something else. Over the past few years, you are the one who got a new wife, but you, Hannah, I swear to God, I've never touched anyone else. Oh, spare me this theatricality. I'm sick of your hypocrisy. I didn't mean another human woman. I was talking about business. You are so engrossed in growing the business and preparing to take over the reins in a few years that the business has become your wife." Elliot was silent. This is what you will do if you want us to stay married. Keep in mind, I don't care what you decide. However, I will agree to stay married. Part of my reasoning will be that I will enjoy revenge on you every day until I am satisfied. Another reason I would stay married is that I would just as quickly get rid of all the confusion, hassle, and expense of lawyers that can come with a messy divorce. And believe me, if I decide to get a divorce, it will be terrible. Darling, I will do everything to save our marriage. Tell me, what can I do? Please give me a chance. Damn you, you made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yes, the divorce petition. Have your lawyer destroy this divorce petition and instead rewrite the marriage contract. The first thing is get rid of the part about if one party can prove that the other committed adultery, and then they add the part about me getting 25% of your business and 60% of your assets and alimony of $5,000 per month for 5 years regardless of who initiates the divorce and regardless of the grounds. If that sounds harsh, well, hard shit. I have to do something that will scare you enough to stop these fraudulent cheating accusations. I want you to think long and hard about what it will cost if you persist in not trusting me. And that is not all. If I ever hear, see, or even feel you checking out my cheating, I will castrate you. This signs of cheating crap stops right here, right now. After a short pause to let her husband understand what she said, Hannah continued, "What I said are the conditions under which we can remain married. Call me when you decide." Hannah left the house and drove away. Elliot was desperate. Why can't I learn? I'm such a fool. I should have trusted her. What will happen to my trust in her? Maybe she's right about me focusing more on the business than on her. I really don't want a divorce. Maybe I don't deserve her. At the very least, I need to make amends for as long as it takes. I guess I'm lucky that she's giving me a second chance. He called his lawyer and told him to abandon the divorce and instead renegotiate the prenuptial agreement. His lawyer protested vigorously, but to no avail. The next day, Elliot received a call from a private investigator. "Do you still want me to look after your wife?" "No, just send me the latest bill. Now I cannot. I'll have to see how long it takes me to remove all the cameras and recorders. However, you can save money if you take them off and return them to me yourself. This would help me since the catch the adulterer business is really booming right now. You know what they say, blessed are the scammers because they keep private investigators in business." He grinned. "Of course I can do it." Elliot left work early in case Hannah came home. He removed all the cameras, which was not an easy task. Some were in high places, and he strained his back as he searched. When he reached for the recorder in the kitchen cabinet next to the home phone, he accidentally pushed it even deeper, trying to stretch and reach the tape recorder. He strained his back even more. He barely made it to the chiropractor. Luckily, a chiropractor was able to help. He was given muscle relaxants and told not to strain his back for a month or so. Crap. I hurt my back trying to get the last recorder with the trip to the chiropractor. I completely forgot about it. I have everything in my basement except one voice recorder. I'll go home right now and bring everything to you this afternoon. After dinner, Elliot went home. It was obvious that Hannah had prepared breakfast and had not cleaned up. Elliot reached for the last recorder. Not wanting to injure his back, Elliot took out the grabber. It took a few tries, but Elliot grabbed the recorder and pulled it out. He noticed that there was a recording made since the last check. On the way to the office, Elliot decided to listen to the recording. It was Hannah and the man he thought was Craig. This was a face-to-face conversation, not a phone call. They were together in the living room, he guessed. He heard Hannah suggest, "Would you like a drink first?" "Yes, we have plenty of time, don't we?" "Yes." "Well, my husband won't be home for a few more hours, but I need to be back at work by 2 o'clock. Did he say anything about a marriage contract?" "He said that everything will be ready any day now. I can't wait to file for divorce and be a single woman, a rich single woman again." "Hey, what about me? I thought we were getting married. Don't you think your wife will be upset that we're getting married?" "Everything is fine." I'm just waiting for the right moment. I don't want to be completely impoverished because of her. But your cutie will soon be filthy rich. Do you really think that I won't take care of you? But you don't have money yet. Great, another man who doesn't believe in me. Hannah laughed. I must admit that you handled it flawlessly. Magazine article on the coffee table. Lunch with a gay man. Jesus, I had to put up with that fruit for 3 lunches before Elliot's damn friend finally saw us. I was afraid that I would have to fuck Spencer on the table to get his attention. Then evening work with Jimmy. It's good that Elliot came on time. Jimmy was upset that he had to stay late at work for something that obviously could have been done in 15 minutes during the day. How did you find out about cameras and voice recorders? I just assumed his lawyer would recommend it. I searched for a couple of days before I found them in the house and one recording device in the car. I just checked. Now they are all removed. The best thing is the motel fee and the fake phone call. I'm glad you gave me the script. I think I would have messed it up if I had to improvise. I had to choose my words carefully so that they could be interpreted in 2 ways. It worked perfectly. Everything worked perfectly. You're so smart. It's scary. Well, there was one trap that didn't work. Did you forget about the cum on my panties? I hoped that he would find and accuse me of treason. Then I would make him do a test where he would find out that it was just mayonnaise. It would be funny to attack him for being jealous of my mayonnaise. Do we really still have to wait for real sex? I'm very excited. I wanted to be very careful and not have sex in case Elliot got lucky and discovered us. However, I think we are safe now. Elliot would never spy on me again. Even if he suspected something, he would be too scared to do anything. That's the beauty of my plan. Since he won't test me, we can have sex without worrying too much. Today, I am more than ready. This is the first time we've had more than an hour. Just think, soon we will be able to make love all day and all night as much as we want. And we can do it in Hawaii, in Rio, in Bermuda, or in the penthouse of the Hyatt Hotel. I will still keep my current sex life with my wife on low heat just to be on the safe side. We're too close to explode now. Tell me again, how long should you wait until you divorce her? It will be a couple of years before she turns 30 and inherits her grandfather's share of the business. He will pay you a fortune, 7 to 8 figures, to get back the 25% of his business that I will get in the divorce. He would never give up so much control. Don't worry, baby. We can have sex, but only when the time is right and Elliot can't catch us. 2 years. I don't know if I can stand it all for that long. Darling, we got where we are by being smart and careful. Just be patient a little longer. Fine. I will soon go to a lawyer and take action. I think I really don't have to worry about what I'm getting out of my marriage as long as I'm with you. So, time to go to the bedroom. No, I don't want to bother with new sheets. Let's do it on the carpet. This will make it seem dirtier and more interesting and easier to clean. I bet I can undress faster than you. A rustling sound was heard around, and soon Elliot heard them having sex. The worst thing was that she began to compare her lover with him. And this comparison, of course, was not in his favor. Elliot was almost catatonic. Having come to his senses, he returned to his office. He called his detective and said he wanted to buy the remaining tape recorder. The rest of the equipment will be returned. He called his lawyer, who was happy to return to the divorce decree and forget about the new prenuptial agreement. Elliot told Hannah there was a problem. His lawyer quit because he didn't think the new prenuptial agreement was in Elliot's best interest. He promised her that he had a new lawyer who only cared about getting paid. The new marriage contract should take place in about a week. Meanwhile, Elliot got down to business. 10 days later, Elliot asked Hannah to meet him at home. Hannah was shocked to see a replay of the last scene in the house. Elliot, a laptop, a tape recorder, and an envelope lay on the kitchen table. Once again, Elliot had that just swallowed a canary look on his face. It would be better if what happened last time didn't happen again. I'm going to take the sharpest knife we have. You should have said, show me the proof. Hannah had an unpleasant feeling. She rummaged through her memory, trying to find some evidence. She couldn't think of anything. Okay, Sherlock, what do you have? First, Elliot played the recording of her conversation with Craig. But all the recording devices were confiscated. She started to panic. It is illegal to record personal conversations. You can't use this in court. Elliot then turned on the video on his computer. It was Craig. Craig admitted everything, saying it was Hannah's idea. He's lying. You must have bribed him or threatened to tell his wife. I will crucify you in court. In court, videos and recordings were allowed because this was not a criminal trial and it was Hannah who was crucified. The prenuptial agreement was honored and she left the marriage with what she entered with. Just under $3,000. Moreover, she owed a lot to her lawyer, but he was unlucky. Hannah disappeared along with her money and car. Subscribe to our channel so that you're second. Chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.